Welcome to NDSU. Now that you've had some time to settle in, let's take a few minutes to talk about the technology policies on campus. In today's culture, technology is playing an increasingly important role in nearly every aspect of our lives.
As the uses of these technologies increase, the risks associated with them also increases. The many tools available to you, like social networking, media sharing, and just being on the NDSU network, may have unintended risks if used incorrectly.
Let's start by talking about social networking. With more than 1 billion users, Facebook has become the way of choice for people to stay in touch with their friends, family, colleagues, and others. Also increasing in popularity is Twitter, with more than 500 million people tweeting everything, including what they had for dinner.
While Facebook and other social media can be great tools for staying connected, it is really important to consider the risks associated with them.
Currently, NDSU does not routinely monitor the content on its own sites or anything posted by students to social media. But it is important that you consider what you post and how it's going to affect you.
For example, imagine if your boss or your professor could hear your tweets as if you were talking directly to them.
This class is super boring. Hashtag ready to party!
Yikes. This may seem obvious, but it's really good to get an idea of what can affect you and how. To answer these questions, we turn to Brian Bartz of the University Career Center and Officer Chris Potter of University Police.
It's important for students to remember that what they post online is a direct reflection of who they are and how they're representing themselves. And they have to understand that employers, colleges, the military, they're vetting people who are applying with those agencies in those locations.
One of the quickest and easiest things an employer or search committee member would do is look for them online.
Students have to realize that a simple Google search or a search on Facebook can reveal some information that could be embarrassing or even worse, potentially damaging to a career or educational future.
Oftentimes what happens when students put information online is that they don't see the consequence directly. Indirectly, they may experience not getting a call back for an interview for a position they may have applied for. They may not hear anything from a company at all.
It's important to remember that it's not just the consequences to us personally as far as employment, as far as educational opportunities, but it can also become a criminal investigation at some point. There are some other online behaviors too that we need to be aware of, and that is posting inappropriate movies, inappropriate photos of illegal conduct. And I think a lot of times our young people forget the fact that once they post something online, they cannot control it once it's out there. It is then cuttable, pastable, it's out there, it can be saved, and that will come back to haunt somebody at a later time.
In 2007, Miss New Jersey posted pictures at a nightclub of her doing things provocatively and dancing with friends and drinking alcohol and different things like that. And she was under the assumption that that was private information. It didn't take long for word to spread of what she had done. By that Monday or Tuesday, she was on a national syndicate being interviewed about this situation.
Sometimes they like to party, and they like to take photos of that with their smartphones. They're instantly uploadable to their social media. They can Twitter messages out about where they're at, what they're doing. They can literally tell the world what they're up to at any given moment. The concern I have about that is that those photos are there forever.
Whatever they put online a month ago can still be found. If you look on Facebook, their timeline feature allows you to look at when they joined and what they've been doing every year since then. So one recommendation I would make to students is to regularly Google audit yourself. Putting your name into Google, you'll get some results. See what's out there.
As a matter of fact, Facebook is becoming one of the best law enforcement tools we have. In online social media, what people are posting online, it's a public realm. We do not need a search warrant. A number of years ago during a presidential campaign, a local student here in Fargo was engaged in a heated online chat with another student, and ultimately had made some threats against a presidential candidate, not understanding the consequences of what that would be. When it came to the attention of the Fargo Police Department, who at that time I worked for, we also involved the Secret Service, who also launched an investigation, and it did result in some serious consequences for that student. And the student was basically told, you are now on a watch list for life. You will be watched, all of your online activity will be watched. We will be aware of your presence anytime that a future official from the government or a candidate would come to Fargo.
I always encourage students who are currently in the internship or job search process to post information on their social media that supports their career interests. Sharing it on their Facebook page or on their LinkedIn page is a positive way to show that they're engaged in truly taking their career direction seriously.
So again, we're not trying to trounce on anybody's First Amendment rights, freedom of speech. What we are saying is there is an appropriate level of conduct that we expect of our staff, faculty, students, and they have to abide by that.
Like I said, it's a double-edged sword, you know, but I think it can, as much as it can hurt you, if you do everything you can to protect yourself, it can help you.
So the main point that I think we need to make is that if you're going to post something online, no matter what it is, text message, Twitter it, Facebook, whatever, use this rule of thumb. Am I not comfortable with this being out in the public? Am I not comfortable with this on the front page of the local newspaper? Would I be embarrassed if my friends, family, my grandmother were to see the conduct? And that's a good ruler as to what the behavior is and whether or not I should continue in posting this online.
So if a student has questions about how to find a job or an internship or how to manage their online profile, I would encourage them to set up an appointment with myself or someone in the Career Center. We're on the 3rd floor of Ceres Hall, 306. Our phone number is 231-7111, or you can email us. Our website is www.ndsu.edu/career.
To sum it all up, when using social media, regularly check your profile privacy settings and use discretion when posting personal information online. Remember, something that you post online is never truly deleted. And lastly,
looks like someone hacked Sam's profile and changed his status. I bet his girlfriend's not going to be happy about that one. Yikes.
Lastly, be sure to keep your passwords safe and log out after you finish.
In previous years, NDSU students have paid thousands of dollars in damages for the illegal file sharing of copyright-protected material such as movies, music, and software. This act, typically called pirating, really, or torrenting, is done by using software that not only downloads but uploads as well. Also, just because you close your computer doesn't mean that you're disconnected. Many times, logging out and logging back in just resumes the connection of these peer-to-peer programs, as well as continuing programs running in the background.
Keep in mind that paying for your peer-to-peer software such as uTorrent Plus doesn't make downloading copyright materials legal.
If you have any questions regarding illegal file sharing or removing this type of software from your laptop or desktop computer, visit the IT Help Desk in room 150 of the IAC.
There are, however, several legal options available online for watching free videos and listening to music, such as Hulu, Pandora, Grooveshark, and Spotify.
In addition, you can purchase quality music and videos on iTunes, Amazon, or on your Xbox. You can also do it off of an iPhone, Androids, or Windows smartphones.
For more information on copyright or for an extended list of alternatives to pirating, visit the NDSU ITS website at www.ndsu.edu/its/copyright.
Internet fraud
fraud and identity theft are common, and cybercriminals' attempts to steal your personal information through strategies like phishing are becoming more sophisticated. Phishing occurs when a person or a group sends out an email falsely claiming to be a legitimate company, bank, or group, and they're looking to get your personal information or your money.
There are many possible forms of phishing, and they always offer you opportunities that seem too good to be true. But there are a couple other ways to recognize these phishing attempts. Check where the email really originated from. If you notice spelling and grammar errors, it could be a phishing attempt. Professional companies and organizations employ staff who carefully edit messages before sending them out. Beware of links in the message. Instead of clicking on the link right away, hover over it to ensure that the hyperlink matches the URL and points you to the site you trust. If the message contains threats, for example, that your account will expire soon if you don't verify your account information and password at the provided link, it could also be a phishing attempt. So next time, when you're reading emails that seem a bit odd, keep these pointers in mind to avoid getting phished.
When you receive a message that seems out of place, don't respond. That just verifies that your contact information is correct. And remember, never email out your social security number, password, or any other personal information. Only make online purchases at trusted websites. Install virus protection software on your computer. When using a site that asks for your credit card information, ensure that it is secure by looking in the URL bar for a small padlock icon, or that the URL starts with HTTPS, not HTTP.
Don't make the mistake of brushing off phishing as if it isn't real. It's happened to NDSU students before, and it will happen again. Only this time, it could be you.
So at the beginning of this semester, I got an email through NDSU, an opportunity to make some little extra cash. For a college student, I can make some cash. The advertisement was to have your card turn into a moving advertisement for Full Throttle energy drink. So what they would do was put a big magnetic sticker on your door, and you just drive around and get paid to do it. So I gave her my name, address, phone number, email, so we can be in contact. So she replies back with all this terms and conditions, so it sounds legit. So then she says she's gonna send me a check of $3,500 to deposit into my account. I get the check a couple days later and deposit it into my account. Now she said, go to a MoneyGram. A MoneyGram is like a place where you can transfer money if you don't have a bank account. They're at Walmart, CVS Pharmacy, Hornbachers, anywhere. So I send $2,500 of it to this person in Kansas City, Missouri. She said, keep $1,000 for your first 2 weeks of pay. So I send the money, then I take a picture of the receipt to show that I sent the check and that it's final. So she replied back, okay, great. We will send you a professional to put the sticker on. We're happy to do business with you. So a couple of days later, I found out the check was bogus and that I lost $2,500 of my own money, not from the check that I would deposit. So I called the Attorney General, and she's basically said that there's nothing she can do because by the time I sent the money to Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, the money could be sent to Africa or anywhere in the world. I was like, oh, great. So I just lost all of my money, all of my $2,500. So make sure you guys do your homework. If it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is.
Overall, if it looks fishy, pardon the pun, it probably is. The biggest tip that we can leave you with today is always do your research before you believe anything that an email says.
A quick internet search can help you find out more about a company or a scam than you might have known before. Also, NDSU will never ask you to verify your information via email. Once again, if it seems fishy, don't let yourself get hooked.
NDSU Acceptable Use Guidelines for Electronic Communications Devices specifically states that acceptable use includes accessing material or information related to coursework, conducting university research or outreach activities, administering the business of the university, or incidental personal use as determined by Student Life and the Student Activities Office.
Unacceptable examples can include engaging in any type of online harassment activity or similar inappropriate behavior, probing or hacking, using peer-to-peer streaming technologies for transfer of copyright infringement materials and/or non-academic purposes, pirating software or data, knowingly distributing viruses or bypassing university virus protection, manipulating Ethernet addresses of electronic equipment, and last but not least, accessing or distributing sexually explicit, offensive, or erotic material.
Remember, the misuse of electronic communications devices at NDSU can result in the permanent removal of your privileges and network access.
For more information about the acceptable uses, go to the IT Help Desk.
Thank you for taking some time to discuss the issues that students face on the NDSU Secure Network. We discussed social networking as well as downloading copyright protected material. We also went over the acceptable use policy on NDSU's network.
Remember, if you have any questions about any of the topics that we've covered, feel free to visit the help desk in the IAC or go on to Bison Connection.
Go Bison!